Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hi. It is us. It is me. It is DM Dan and GM Julia.
Hi.
And we are sharing the office space today.
We are. It is a rare treat for me to be allowed in here.
Normally there are secrets in here.
Yes. Absolutely. But it's an honour. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. That's all right. You are more than welcome. So we will hopefully have a very controversial episode today.
I mean, relatively controversial. Hopefully not horrendously so.
I mean, I'm hoping for very controversial.
I mean, it depends on your takes.
Depends on my takes,
your reactions to the takes that we're doing today.
Because that is what we're doing. I've noticed recently that especially with sort of like 1D&D going out, like all the play tests and stuff, and then there was like the OGL fiasco, so there was like all of the stuff that happened off the back of that, and I noticed that the internet's superpower to generate the spiciest hot takes just kind of exploded. And I thought it would be quite fun to look at some of these hot takes that I think we all know exist and we all usually choose to ignore. And we'll go through them, and then I'll see how I do in the face of them.
Are we going to score you on your reactions to the tape? Maybe,
quite possibly. Well, I'll leave that up to the chat. Yes, hello to those of you in chat. Hope you're all doing well. We just as a quick heads up, obviously we're doing a live stream at the moment, but we do loads of stuff on the channel here. So if you like D&D live plays, actual play live. Oh god, it's Friday.
Okay.
If you like D&D actual plays, or non-D&D actual plays, or live streams, or Baldur's Gate playthroughs, or shorts, or just this beautiful face, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for notifications when we release new things, because we do it very, very regularly. And yeah, I mean, I reckon we can turn the background down and we can turn us up. Yeah, I reckon we can do that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a tavern without sound issues, would it? Is that better?
At least you can hear us.
At least you can hear us. Right.
You're getting better, definitely.
Getting better.
I've noticed over the last few Friday night streams. You've worked your way through all the technical difficulties, so you know what to look out for.
Normally people take like build upon their failures, but I feel like I'm just overcoming the solution by repeatedly headbutting the brick wall until the wall crumbles.
It's getting better, don't worry.
It's getting better.
So these are takes that I have collated in the space of today.
Okay.
From a combination of our own group of explorers, people who frequent the channel. I'm not going to be name dropping anybody, because that might be a little bit unfair. But some of them have been submitted by our own, and also a few of them from Reddit. Okay. I did a search on Reddit for RPG hot takes.
Reddit, famously known for its subtlety and nuance, yes?
Yes, its balanced arguments and mutual respect between users.
Of course.
And when you said you wanted to do a hot takes episode, it immediately took me back in my mind to a very early Tavern episode, back in the days when it was entirely pre-recorded. You can still find it, it's on the channel. There was a happy hour where, this was back in the days when Anton was doing it. There was a Rant On with Anton segment, which I enjoyed a lot. Unfortunately, it was never repeated. But basically, the thrust of it was that cleric spellcasting in 5e is bad, which set Carl and Dan off. It set me off as well when I listened to it. But essentially, it sort of boiled down to this idea that because there are 4 or 5 core spells that everybody who plays cleric wants to use all the time, and the rest are, according to Anton, fairly situational and not as handy, not default.
I think the word he used was trash.
Possibly. Because of that, there's a problem with cleric spellcasting.
Okay.
Of course, when confronted with well, what would you do about the solution? He said, well, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah,
That's for wizards to sort out.
Yeah, that is the epitome of
one
this
of my
hot take, isn't it?
favourite things that's ever been on the channel was that rant on with Anton. So we're gonna channel the spirit
try and channel
of
that.
Anton.
Okay. We're here for some spicy takes and no soothing balm.
Absolutely none.
That said, we do, obviously, we have some tea to sip.
Mm-hmm. Right, are you ready?
It felt like such a good idea when I thought of it. Okay, okay. I mean, right, go.
Right, okay. It's not too bad. I think we're starting.
We started off lightly.
It's actually, this could get really bad, but I'm gonna. Right, I'm just gonna do it. Right, here we go. Characters with normal backgrounds are just as compelling as characters with tragic ones.
Correct. That's not a hot take at all.
Wow.
I think that's a great take.
Yeah. We'll say more.
I think that is a tepid take at best.
Ooh.
Ooh. I mean,
I mean, for some people, think about the number of people who play D&D that you've come across who think it's a prerequisite to be the edgiest edgelord who ever edgelorded.
Yeah. So, like, I think the spicier take would be your character is boring. If they haven't, if all of their family members are still alive.
That is the spicy take version, isn't it?
If there's not been a death in the family in the recent history, your character is boring. That would be a very spicy take.
It would, wouldn't it? It's not worthwhile if there's no tragedy.
Because, if you play a normal, big quotes here. If you play a relatively safe... I've played a relatively safe character.
Yes.
And he was really fun. Azorius Lovecraft, his whole backstory was, I'm a boy in the big city. And that was it.
Gnome in the big city.
Gnome in the big city. That was it.
He wanted to draw maps and say hello to everyone.
Say hello to people, not know he was being mugged.
Or joining a cult.
And he ended up getting chased by, the father of the Nine Hills. Hello, Carl.
And Carl's here.
So, yeah, I don't think that's a hot take at all.
No.
I
think there's something really charming about coming to the table with Jeff, who grew up as a farmer and just really dreamed of something bigger.
You know what?
And took up his pitchfork and became an adventurer.
You know what?
That's lovely.
Given Carl's just come in, it's actually good timing. So, once upon a time when we play, in the first campaign Carl and I played in, there was genuinely a character called Jeff. He was a cleric of Bahamut, and the thing was, Jeff didn't believe in Bahamut. I think he was only a cleric for the pay, kind of thing. He just didn't believe him. And then one day, Bahamut appeared to him, and then Jeff had a oh shit moment.
So that's really good.
Yeah, Jeff had there was loads and loads of character development because if you've got loads of bad stuff that's happened in the before times, then it's arguably you're gonna work through some of that in the fore times. But if you're just a blank canvas, you've got more room to grow.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
reckon.
Yeah, that's true. This sort of reminds me a little bit of the whole humans are boring or fighters are boring take.
Human fighter.
Goodness, gods forbid you're a human fighter.
You know what? Next time I play, I reckon I'm going to try a human fighter.
The thing is that it's not the race. Is not your race. Is not your personality in D&D. At least it shouldn't be. That's my hot take. And so if you're if your opinion is that human characters are by default boring, first of all, do you find real world humans boring? This might say more about you than it does about your characters. But also, you can make a compelling story and character out of any race-class combination. It's about who they are and what they've been through.
Can I sweep in with a real quick, hot, spicy take of my own?
Go on.
Because it's a hot take that I, without prompting, threw out into the world. But everybody's Baldur's Gate 3 character that just has every tick box ticked and every colour on the colour wheel selected across their body are basic bitches.
Ooh!
That's my spicy take. That's my spicy take.
I think when there's too much going on with the tabs,
Yeah.
like I see a lot of tabs on social media, and sometimes there's too many things
Yes.
going on, so it's a bit of a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Because look, the option's there, I'll tick it.
yeah. I mean, so in my solo playthrough, spoilers, I'm doing a solo playthrough. How dare me? I'm playing a human cleric sorcerer, and I sat here and agonised for ages over whether to give him face tattoos. And then I eventually said, no, I don't want face tattoos, because then all my character is a face tattoo.
Well,
that was my opinion on it.
well.
I can be more interesting. I don't have to have face tattoos to be interesting.
No, you don't know exactly. There are other ways to be interesting. Exactly.
I mean,
anyway,
face tattoos can be cool.
they can be. Yeah.
Have face tattoos on the mental, just not me.
Sure. Okay. How are we feeling about that take?
That was fine.
We moving on?
That was a calmer take.
Okay. We see. I told you, we're starting off soft. Okay.
A sander take.
We've got a slightly spicier take. You may be able to guess who this has come from. Right. I'm gonna.
Dritz is a bitch.
No, not quite.
Okay.
Okay. So this is to do with a particular martial class. It is nearly impossible to indulge a proper martial arts fantasy like Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee with the monk class. When the few uses of ki have run out, the build just turns off, and you end up as a glorified, not so good fighter. Thoughts, Dan?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hang on, yeah.
I mean, I've played a monk and it was really fun.
But I feel like I had to change things up to make it fun.
Well, that was only because of the subclass I wanted to play.
Yeah,
That's because I wanted to be 4 elements, and you said, no, 4 elements is written as trash, let me find you a better one.
I think, the problem is, when we think of... I think the problem with monk... Okay, I think I agree with that, within reason.
Okay.
Like, I think when we think of monk, we're thinking of, like, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon martial artist, as opposed to, like, 80s Jackie Chan martial artists. Like that kind of era. So like, we're thinking, and the fact that all of the abilities are, like, mystical and magical just kind of reinforces that. And then, like, if you're level 1, you can do it once.
Yeah, but if you're a level 1 wizard, you've got 2 leveled spells.
Yeah, but that's still 2. But, like, you still got, like... I suppose it's just like, what is the monk? Because, like, when I think of monk, what I'm thinking of is, like, the central body, like the key, the channeling of spirituality and whatnot.
Yeah.
And when I think of a wizard or a sorcerer, I'm thinking of, like, I throw fireballs. But, like, even when a wizard runs out of spells, a wizard can still throw around firebolt.
Well, yeah, but then the monks still got their hits.
Yeah, but it's just, like, everyone can punch, but not everyone can do a fireball.
Not like the monk, though. The monk has got special, like, ability to attack well.
It's just like little slaps.
Oh, it's not. It's absolute rubbish.
Like, when monks get to higher levels, and you've got, like, this reservoir of ki, then you can do the cool things.
Yes. Just like you can start to do really cool things as a wizard
Yeah.
at higher levels.
I
My experience of playing a monk was great. You just have to be careful with your resource use. Key is a resource. And
Yeah.
it's a bit like spell slots or battle master maneuvers or anything like that. You can't expect to have an endless font of the thing that makes you cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think
my
the other
opinion.
problem
Yes.
is that monk is so reliant on levels of monk.
Monk is probably the most specific role
Yeah.
in the game.
It's a very,
for
very
sure.
specific
It's very
fantasy.
specialized. It's a very specialized role that you're
Yeah.
playing in any party. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Anyway,
That was a Madras take.
Madras take. Okay,
I don't
we're
know. Is Madras hot?
we're
Yeah.
ratcheting up. Here's one.
Mm.
So
Gonna run out of tea.
this is interesting, and I'm
Okay.
interested in your take on it.
Okay.
So this is GMing is genuinely hard, and not everyone is cut out for it. Yeah. Okay. Let's find another sip. What do you think?
No, I don't agree. Like, no, I don't agree. It's,
Why not?
Like, anyone can learn to act. Anyone can learn to
I
sing.
beg to differ.
Well, anyone can do it, but the journey for some people will be longer.
No, I disagree with you right now.
I reckon your dad could DM.
My dad, for sure. But my dad has a lot of creativity and is an easygoing guy, gets on well, has a good sense of humour. So, of course, he'd be fine. I can think of some people in my life who could not. Naming no names. But, like, I thought that was a pretty spicy take. Not everyone can do it. Should we put the word well in there?
Yeah.
Not everyone can do it well.
Yes,
yeah, anyone can sit down with a DM Dungeon Master's Guide and say, right, roll some dice.
Thing is,
You're in a village.
Like, I've had some pretty...
There's a flump problem.
I've had some pretty shocking, like, GM experiences.
What,
like,
being GM'd poorly?
Being a player.
Yeah, of course. I think we all, anyone who's played long enough will have done.
But I think in pretty much every... Well is a good keyword,
yeah.
I think every time I've been in those situations, like, you're able to sit there and go, if this were happening, it would be better. So, like, there's always, like, it's always a case of, like, you can see the room for improvement, which would then argue that there is improvement that is possible, so therefore it could get better, and therefore it could then be good.
So obviously there are going to be key skills that make for enjoyable GMing.
Yes.
Things like being able, knowing the rules well enough, kind of having a sort of flair for storytelling doesn't hurt, being able to yes and, all these things that we talk about a lot. But are there any traits that you think make somebody capable of DMing enjoyably?
Okay, actually, yeah, I'm going to pivot slightly. Because I think the most important thing of GMing, DMing, whatever, is you've got to make sure that everyone's having a good time. That's the most important bit, right? Like, everyone's here to have fun, so you've got to help facilitate, along with everyone else around the table, you've got to facilitate some fun. So, if you were someone who, like, if you're unable to read if people are having fun or not, that could be a problem.
Could be a problem. Yeah.
But, like, I still think that's something you could learn.
Nate, I'm just noticing, has put a comment in the chat. A GM can be really good, but if they have a group who wants something else from what they want, it can seem like the GM is bad because they're not reading the group.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's it. Like, I think the most important thing about GMing isn't the rules of whatever game you're playing, it's your people skills. Fundamentally, you've got to have that kind of managerial, like, make it, like, keeping on top of everyone, like, making sure everyone's firing on all cylinders.
Keeping their attention.
Yeah, if they're not kind of reaching out and propping people up. And, like, I guess that is but I think that's a skill. Like,
yeah, it is.
That
and
is a skill
you can build on that, can't you?
And, like, you don't need to know... I mean, I think quite a few people who play D&D don't know how to play D&D, but they still play D&D, so...
Carl, I've just sorted your comment in the chat. Don't worry, we're not talking about you, babe. It's okay.
Well, I mean...
Well, I'm not, anyway. So, and the other thing, the person who wrote that also wrote that there's not enough appreciation out there for GMs.
I mean, that is a sub-Arctic take.
Absolutely no doubt.
No, actually, you know what? I saw... maybe this come up later, but I saw a pretty... a hornet's nest of hot takes on Reddit recently, which was... Basically, it was a discussion on whether players should, like, categorically should, pay their DM.
In all cases.
In all cases.
Wow.
Like you and, like, beyond, if you lot bring the snacks. Like, beyond that, like, actually give me money to do this.
Wow.
And it, like, there was a part of me that went, no. I didn't agree.
No.
but then like reading through the subtle, nuanced arguments within that thread made me think, oh, there's a bake Julian popcorn. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I'm running a Wednesday night group, and people always bring around really good snacks to that. So that's enough for me. I don't want it to be a transactional thing. I just want to have fun with my friends.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. Like, there's that whole idea of like, are you allowed to be friends with your boss? And then sometimes that thought process, I feel, can sometimes spill over, like, between the players and the games master, like whoever's running the game, because like you're just going to potentially build on that kind of adversarial.
Yeah, there's
like,
a whole load of hot takes you could say.
Like
about
we're rocking
that,
up to Muller, whatever the DMs come up with tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
I quite like this one because I sort of agree. It's not so. It's. I don't know how to make these spicier. I'm working with what I've got. Pre-written adventures. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the spicy version.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Right. I've got my tea ready.
All published adventures are bad. Running one and making it any good requires so much effort, you might as well make up your own campaign. Thoughts?
I mean, that is a multifaceted spicy take.
All pre-written adventures. I think
pre-written.
now the point this person was making is that because there's no one-size-fits-all way of pre-writing a campaign that's going to work for every table.
Yeah.
Every GM who picks up that pre-written module is going to have to adapt it to their table, because it's not going to take into account characters' backstories, what the individual players are interested in, etc., etc. And actually, there is a thriving community on DM's Guild, for example, and probably in other places online, where you can purchase, sometimes for free, sometimes for very low cost, brilliantly written extensions and resource booklets for most of the big adventures that are out there. What's going on?
Yeah, Chris and Tilda, yes, heartily.
Chris, whoever wrote that has
agree.
been hurt by pre-written.
That's for someone who has played Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I've DM'd twice, and both times I chose a pre-written module that spoke to me. So it was Dragon Heist first, and then now it's Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I love both of them because they're both quite whimsical. It's very role-play heavy, which I think suits the kinds of games I want to run.
Yeah.
But I have substantially embellished both campaigns because you have to, because there's no way to write a one-size-fits-all pre-written campaign. There's just no way to do it.
I mean,
you cannot anticipate what any one group is going to do.
The problem with pre-gens, like pre-writtens, is that the stability of the plot direction evaporates the moment you introduce any of your player characters to it.
Exactly, yeah. I
mean, unless your player characters are written specifically for the campaign. Like, when I say specifically for, like... I won't get them out. But, like, there's usually, like, the plot hooks at the start of the campaign books. And unless the only backstory for all of your players is only those plot hooks and nothing else, like, you're automatically in the realm of I have to make new stuff up. And that new stuff will then... like butterfly effect throughout the campaign.
Yeah, of course.
So the campaign will think you're doing this, and
so you ran Princes of the Apocalypse for me and Anton and a whole group of people.
Yeah.
And that ended up changing substantially. You brought in a whole new major boss at the end.
Yeah.
But which kind of tied into another pre-written
Oops, All Orcus.
Oops, All Orcus. And that worked really, really well. Just the fact that it wasn't in the original doesn't mean that the original had no merit.
No.
And actually what I find as a very busy person who's not terribly confident in my own ability to weave stories out of whole cloth is that the pre-written one gives you so much inspiration. You can fall back on it if you need to.
I think if you're not trying to follow a pre-written to the letter.
Well, yeah, and so this is the less spicy version I was going to read out first. Pre-written adventures have to be written as a loose guiding hand rather than a strict path. So that is the kind of more nuanced version.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
But I would argue, big but here. I would argue, big but. I would argue that a lot of people will look at campaigns like Curse of Strahd or Princes of the Apocalypse, which are unashamedly sandbox, which loose ideas floating around a space, and really struggle with those in comparison to something like Dragon Heist or While Beyond the Witchlight, which is very much a this happens and this happens and this happens. Like While Beyond the Witchlight, it's like, hey, here are 3 worlds, and each of these are the problems in the 3 worlds.
You start at a carnival, then there are 3 worlds. You can. There are ways of adapting it, so you don't have to follow it in a completely linear way. But effectively, these are the situations and the people you'll come across in these locations. Oh, you can't have any more spicy reactions.
I'll just have to take
anything if
smaller
you've
sips. Okay. I hard disagree that all pre-writtens are bad.
Okay.
Certainly would agree that not all pre-writtens are good.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. I quite like what Tilda has said in the chat. Pre-written is the dough.
Yeah.
The DM makes the bread.
Yeah. That you've kind of like pushed all of your PCs into the middle of. Just cook them in there like sun-dried tomatoes. Anyway, next one.
Next one. Okay, we're moving on.
Follow the cult to the letter or bear the con.
So we've had one that says, can you play a campaign without combat? Is there enough support for a non-combat campaign in the player's handbook?
Okay, so yes.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Asterisk.
Yes, what's the asterisk?
There are other games that you could be playing instead.
100%. Yes. Say more.
Like, so the whole concept of like D&D, like they've built it. I've never sounded sure in my life, Carl. Like D&D is built on the philosophy behind D&D 5th edition is like, oh, we're built on the 3 pillars: social, exploration, and combat. So just in the same way that someone might roll their eyes if we go, there's no RP in this game, like you could argue eyes should be rolled if there's no combat.
Okay.
Because so much of your characters' identities come from how they murder people.
Interesting.
Like when you level up, you get new ways to murder people in D&D because it is a heroic action RPG. But like for example,
sorry, go on.
what you've played, Alice is Missing, which is an RPG with no combat.
Yeah.
And was amazing.
Sure.
So like, I know While Beyond the Witchlight can be played
it's been
without
written
combat.
specifically so that it can be, but actually, so that was one of the things that attracted me to it, that it could be combat light and there's always an alternative solution. I think that was one of the things I liked about it. But the idea of no combat, I think there might be some tables that works really well for.
Yes.
But certainly not the majority, I would guess.
I mean, I guess, well, I mean...
Trying to do too many things at
Too many
once
things.
then.
So, like, when we played Dragon Heist, we all went in knowing that there would be a significantly bigger focus on exploration and social pillars.
Yes.
Rather than combat.
Well, partly because you were in a city where there were laws, so just picking random fights in the street probably wasn't a great idea.
So there's that argument, and arguably the same for While Beyond the Witchlight. So there's that argument of like, okay, so what am I doing choosing a fighter? Like, the clue's in the name.
But, yeah, I guess...
Because, like, everyone wanted to be a bard. in Dragon Heist and Witchlight.
I
Everyone
guess-
wants to be high charisma.
I guess combat depends on how you define combat, doesn't it? Because no combat doesn't have to mean no confrontation.
No, I mean you can, you can definitely do the confrontation and then just fuse it with a spicy persuasion roll.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Or an intimidation check, say, for the fighter.
I'm thinking about Fallout New Vegas. If you've got Speech 100, you can tell the guy running Caesar's Legion to just piss off. He's like, okay. I've got an army, but okay.
That is the thing about speech checks in any RPG, isn't it? Once you get good enough, you can pretty much persuade a god to just sort of stand down. Yeah, you're right, Carl. Fighters do have a lot of chances to take feats, so they can bolster skills, they can do other things.
They can take feats which make them be bards.
The thing is that if you know you're going into a campaign with no combat, you might want to think about what class you play.
Yeah.
Like,
But flip side, consider whether a RPG with combat so deeply ingrained in its identity, if that's actually...
Is it the right system for it?
System?
It might just not be. And actually, the point that the person who sort of submitted that take made is that there doesn't seem to be enough support in the PHB, the Player's Handbook in 5th edition, for that. And probably because they never really intended it for it to be that.
Yeah.
As you said, it's the 3 pillars. It's not 1 to 2 out of the 3, is it?
I've just seen what Carl's put in the chat, so I'm going
right.
to throw up a supplementary spicy take.
Okay. What?
So why does no one take samurai for the charisma, for the persuasion bonuses?
Is that Carl's point? You could make a social fighter with enough feats. Stop pretending to drink tea. There's no tea in there anymore. You already said there's no tea.
A little bit.
A little bit. Chris makes a good point. Is sexy times combat?
Roll for performance.
Roll for performance. But actually, in so in an RPG like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, for example, there's no. I don't think there's. I mean, there is combat, but actually, it's often a battle of wits. It's often like an argument can be combat, a romantic scene can be combat. And it's more about
the fact that
it's about people's relationships to one another and how the sort of influence they have over one another. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Help! Yeah, you're absolutely like combat resolution in this. It's I think if you think of it as like conflict resolution, it's a hard bourbon, John. But yeah, like you can like smooch your way out of combat in this, can't you? He says, flicking to a page of smooching ladies.
There's a lot of that in Thirsty Sword.
A lot of that in Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Valentine's one shot. What?
100%.
Okay, next.
Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a real bum clencher.
Okay, here we go. Bring back 4th edition. 5th edition is bad.
No, hard agree. No, wait. Say it again.
Bring back 4th because 5th is bad.
Oh, okay. No, but yes. No.
What?
No. That. I mean, that's a. Okay.
You prefer 4th?
I don't think 5th isn't bad.
Okay.
And I'm now in a position, 16 odd years on from the release of 4th edition, or whatever it is. In hindsight, 4th wasn't bad. It's just not what it was advertised to be. So, in actual fact, this is a hot take that I took up with some of the explorers after one of the recordings. And so many people argue for Pathfinder because it's more crunchy than D&D. It's more tactical than D&D. You can be a lot more fine-tuned on your characters. Like the bigger numbers feel better compared to D&D. But that's also true for 4th edition. 4th edition had to be played on a grid.
Yeah.
And you got bonuses. Like, it played like a computer. It played like XCOM. So it's very tactical in that sense. You could very fine tune characters, and we got to a point where it was like you were getting plus 40 to a D20 roll. So it's like, oh, my dice roll doesn't actually matter.
Okay.
So Chris.
There's a really spicy take in the comments.
Well, I'll swing back to that one, Chris.
Yeah.
I think 4th edition was a good game. It's just the people who played 3rd edition didn't like that it wasn't 3rd edition. That's my counter hot take. And like 5th edition is closer to 3rd, which, quelled the masses. But I think like 4th was like 2/3 of 4th edition were arguably identical to how it was in 3rd or 5th. And by 2/3 I mean the social and exploration in a roundabout way. It was just the combat that was really crunchy. And like obviously 4th edition D&D is the only one with super long combats. I'm actually run out now.
I also have a sort of follow-up here, which is that 5e has boring combat. Let me see if I can find that one for its original form.
That's a middle distance stare. I don't think it's... I suppose one of... Okay, playing devil's advocate, loads of advice for improving combat in D&D a lot of it seems to be, how do we make it quicker? How do we make it end sooner?
Well, here's on the Reddit thread where I found that take, 5e combat is boring, somebody's replied, so boring, 45 minutes of too many HP and too high AC, combined with too many actions and not enough good choices, giving players choice paralysis before they finally decide to do the same action they have for the previous 3 turns, because it's the only really useful one their character has.
Arguably that's not 5th's fault. Arguably that's not, like... Analysis paralysis and not like I guess it depends on where you put the onus, but like I think there's definitely this idea of like, oh, it's my turn, I have to play the most optimum turn. No. But like the whole numbers thing. What book is this? Player's Handbook. No, I don't know that.
Dan's currently reaching for his... Which edition is this?
This is 4th ed.
Okay.
Here we are, Monster Manual 2. 4th edition Monster Manual 2. Here we are. Like, 5th edition has been the best because of bounded accuracy. That's been fantastic. I don't know, I'm just going to flick through the book and you tell me when to stop.
Okay.
I mean, just gone past the Demon Lords.
Sure. I don't know. 4th ed. That one. Or that one.
That one. What's that? A Kazrith.
Yeah.
Kazrith is a level 20 lurker. That's like a level 14 in 5th ed.
Sure.
AC 34.
That's many AC. That's a big
Plus
AC.
25 to hit.
What?
Like,
ow!
In comparison to 5th, like, I think 5th is the best of the D&Ds for like numbers.
I mean, that feels a bit like when you go to another country and they say 5,000 promillers for a coffee, and you're like, whoa, I have no idea what that means.
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I've never played 4th, so. What comments do we have?
Tilda, I think I should take a shot after.
Shall I go get us some whiskey?
Yeah.
All right then. Have we had enough of that?
Yeah.
Right. How about this one? This is another Reddit one. So the person posting this said that these takes were courtesy of his little brother. I found them on a deliberately bad takes post. His little brother says, an all-martial party is as functional as an all-caster party, and that martials are better because they have more HP. R.I.P. to this Reddit poster's little brother, clearly.
Oh,
I can't see the problem. You need to go raid the wizard's tower. Fighter, barbarian,
There can't
rogue, and another fighter wandering. Like, fine, let's go.
You can't have a caster martial gap if there's no casters.
Right?
That's the solution. Just delete wizards.
They're gone. Don't need spells. Eldritch
Well,
Knight, get out of here.
So, like, going back to fourth, the way that they fixed the caster martial gap was that fighters basically became wizards.
Oh.
So, it was a bit weird that it's just like, as a fighter, you can do like a spin on the spot, Tasmanian devil attack once a day.
Yeah. Sounds fun though.
But it was just like, okay, so the one state, too dizzy after that. But like, in the same way that the wizard could only throw fireball once a day.
Sure. What problems would you anticipate with an all-martial party? If you were DMing a campaign and you were like, this is a traditional fantasy world, there's gonna be magic, there's gonna be this and that, and everybody at the table goes, I want to play a fighter.
Sure.
What would you anticipate the problem with that to be?
That everyone would have too much fun.
And we don't want that.
No, like, actually, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because like so many DM and player plans, dissolve because of a spell.
Yeah.
But like, it's easier. I feel it. If you've
what
got
if no party spells?
With no party spells. No, so if you've got an all-martial party, so you have to think. Well, I think that promotes more creativity. That doesn't mean you're not going to get magic items, but it's just like, if there's a room with magic wardings on it, then that becomes a genuine
head scratcher.
Like head scratcher, like, and you have to start thinking about it rather than going, I cast dispel magic. You know, like, I mean, a barbarian. I mean, you can do a barbarian as just a straight barbarian. You just shout at people.
Pump a few more points into charisma than you would normally, and just shout like Brian Blessed at everybody.
Like I mean, when you Conan never worried that there were no wizards in his party.
That's true. Carl's made the point. A wizard better kill the marshals quick, or they're going to have a real bad day.
Well, that's true. Okay, I would love to play an all martial party.
Really?
Because like wizards themselves have promoted the all wizards party with Strixhaven. But like, why not do a all rogues?
All rogues. I think things that I've thought about all bards and stuff like that, I think that would be a really fun like one shot idea or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think, why not? All rogues.
All rogues. Have we got many more?
A few more? Yeah. One more? Yeah. We can stop whenever you like.
Nah.
Okay.
I'm getting warmed up now.
Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna censor the language slightly because this came in spicier than we might want for YouTube. I don't. Tell you what. This actually is not the spicy take. I think the spicy take is quite offensive, but this is the watered down. But I'll just read it out. RPGs are for everyone, not just basement-dwelling white men of yore. Gatekeepers to this hobby are bad people.
Gatekeeping is trash, and gatekeepers need to get in the sea. In the nicest way possible. I'll go for a paddle. They need to go for a paddle in the sea.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Whilst I will doff my hat in recognition to all the basement dwellers that got D&D through those formative years.
Yes.
Anyone now who doesn't want to let some, like, new people into the space needs to
Get in the sea.
need to have a word with themselves.
Yes. What is...
I'm being very diplomatic
Very
here.
diplomatic.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah, I think there is such a vibrant and diverse community within RPGs these days, and I think there is still a vocal minority of white men of yore, basement dwellers, going, it's all woke nonsense, it's this, it's that, and the other.
Yeah.
And like I guess my hot take is that one day people who think like that will be dead.
Oh God.
And there will be a lot more of the wokey crowd left behind enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
So
I guess the other thing that makes it a bit sadder is that, like, okay, I'm gonna run with the generalisation here, but all the guys that want to run a no girls club, D&D.
no girls, no queers.
No, yeah, like, aren't affected in any way, shape or form by another group that has nothing to do with them. They want to batten down the hatches and not let anyone new in, then that's fine. Like, in the sense that what happens outside of that bubble is irrelevant. Doesn't affect them.
Yeah. That's it, exactly. Just play the game the way you want to play it and shut up.
So it's actually interesting. So recently I've been getting back into like Warhammer, and I mean it's glacial progress.
Yeah.
But representation in tabletop gaming is getting better. It's got nothing on representation in role-playing games, which I firmly believe is the purest form of like self-expression and self-identity, and naturally is just a very safe and comfortable space to do these sort of things. So I guess the grognards stand out that much more.
Yeah. Well, that's why I called them a vocal minority.
Yeah,
because,
they are a minority.
there's a lot of them online and they're all shouting about it. What is this hot take from Chris that we have? Might not be a spicy take, but you should not cross the streams, e.g. you could not romance a beholder in Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
I don't know, there's a love scene in Baldur's Gate 3 that YouTube has shown me that very much crosses
Dan,
those.
Which one?
Well, yes.
Which one, Dan?
Yes. I look forward to this. Do I look forward to these? I don't know.
I don't know. Some of them.
I approach with anticipation.
Talking about basement dwellers did make me think of this post on Reddit, which really tickled me.
Yeah.
It was under the deliberately bad takes thread that I found. Someone said, my mother-in-law thought D&D is for people who can't make friends, so they sit alone in their parents' basements. She maintained this opinion regardless of how many times I reminded her that you literally can't play this game alone. I thought that was quite funny.
Ironically, it's arguably closer to the truth now that a lot of people play online.
Oh god, yeah, that's a good point. Because online friends aren't real friends, of course.
No.
Hear that a lot from the older generations.
They're all in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a smooth brain take, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. But then in the 80s, people thought D&D was devil worship, so there's no saving some people. Do you want another?
Yeah.
No more elves, only half-elves. No more half-orcs, only orcs. And they do explain. Would you like to hear the explanations?
No?
Okay.
Okay, no, hit me.
Right.
Wait, no. Wait.
No more elves, only half-elves.
Right.
No more half-orcs, only orcs. And I shall tell you for why.
Like...
Wait, no,
wait. Wait, I can't... I'm trying to...
I love how upset you are.
I'm trying to like... We're punctuating this with claps. I'm trying to get into the mindset that came up with this drivel. Right, hit me with the explanation.
Right.
I need to hear the explanation.
Elves are immortal creeps who've been around for far too long. Shit, they don't even sleep. And orcs are relatable. I think I get it. I kind of get where they're coming from. This is another Reddit, if that's not clear.
So there shouldn't be elves because they're immortal?
So I think the point they're trying to make is that if you're going to play an elf, effectively, you're playing this near immortal being who's just going to be an arsehole to everyone, realistically. Because why would he not look at any mortal creature as anything other than insignificant?
I've got my hand up.
And they don't even need to sleep, Dan.
Counter hot spicy take.
Yes.
No one has ever role-played an elf correctly.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Which book is it that goes into more details on elves? Is it Mordenkainen? No. Violet?
Yeah. One of them.
One of the expansion books for D&D 5e does go into a bit of a lore dump about elves, and it's really interesting to read.
To read this D&D elves specifically, they're basically aliens. They're basically Martians, but everyone plays them as Pretty Boy Legolas.
Basically. And they're not. They actually, the perspective you would have on life and friendship and all this stuff would be so warped if you knew you had thousands of years.
The irony being...
They make the point that apparently within D&D lore there was a case where an elven city was besieged for about 50 years. They didn't care. They had whatever, they had enough food or whatever. They just closed the gates and went, oh well, no skin off our noses. That's like a couple of weeks for us.
The irony is, lots of people accurately play dwarves.
What does that mean?
Like, they're just grumpy bastards that don't like anyone.
That's just you, Bob.
No, but like...
That's just you when you play a dwarf.
There's a quote in one of the books, it's like, the difference between an acquaintance and a friend is about 300 years.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, that's dwarf
but
lore.
isn't that so sad? Like this idea, because if you think about it from a very long-lived racist point of view, you go on an adventure, you meet a little human who's like 23, or even 50, and you're like, oh, you're a child, and you're going to be dead before I know you properly, because they're used to making hundreds of year-long friendships.
Yeah.
It's weird, and actually, so elves are a bit of a creepy concept when you think about sort of mixing them up with other races. So half elves are a bit less creepy because they've got the sort of the shorter lifespans.
I don't think they're creepy if you play them right.
I
say right.
Well, this is why it's a hot take, Dan.
If you play them rules as written, as opposed to either Legolas, Dritz, or Booby Girl.
Who's Booby Girl?
Like, hot elf Booby Girl.
Oh, I see. Just the generic hot elf Booby Girl.
Hot elf Booby Girl.
What about half orc versus orc? What's your take on that?
Okay, so face value, that seems like a deeply, deeply problematic take.
Right.
Okay,
but I mean, I guess the rules as written, 5e says you can't play as an orc, right?
No, you can.
Can you though?
Yeah.
Full orc.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe now, but originally?
It's in follows.
Is it in
You know
follows?
what?
Okay.
But
That's good.
I mean, I would argue it's easier in 5th because at least in 5th they kind of went, oh, maybe we should stop calling intelligent races like monstrous.
Yeah.
Maybe we should not do that anymore.
That was a good catch on their part.
That was a good catch.
It came a bit late, but at least it came. Okay, how are we doing for time? We've got a few minutes.
We've got some minutes. I've got time for one more, I reckon.
One more. Okay. This is my silly one that I left for the end. Okay. But shall we just double check there's nothing about elves versus orcs in the chat?
Hot elf, big fire girl.
Imagine how many divorces elves go through. A very good point, Chris. Yes,
but if it's
nightmare.
like the 50-year besieging, then if you have an argument with your spouse and you can just...
I've given you 500 good years and no further. Yeah, fair enough. Right, let us see. Okay, if two characters kiss, their players should kiss in real life. Looking at you, Tim and Carl. They've been
maybe that's a new house rule.
For a smooching
Maybe
for a
that's
while
a new
now.
house rule.
A new house rule.
Okay, so maybe this will become an almost mandatory like horny jail bonk hammer, because like off the back of Critical Role and Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like the entirety of the D&D tabletop playing community will all be seen as pent up horny people.
I mean, I think most of the D&D community lives in horny jail. You can't send them there. And I love it, personally.
It would be like that would definitely be a power move. That would be a session 0 discussion, wouldn't it?
It really would. It would have to be very carefully planned.
You kiss? Now kiss.
I think if you're close enough friends, it's
The
fine.
problem you've got is when there's that one player that's just like, I just love everybody.
True.
DM, how many NPCs are in this tavern? 14, you say.
It could get interesting, couldn't it?
Yes.
Not for every table, but an interesting idea.
I think there's a part of my brain that's trying to envisage in-character smooching. Sorry, this is pinging off. Like I saw a thing where like it's diceless D&D.
Yeah.
So instead of rolling a dice, you've got to yourself do something similar. So it's like, oh, you want to roll an acrobatics check to like jump from, or like to cross the tightrope.
I want you to.
And you need to do a backflip.
Do a backflip. It's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
Oh, you viciously mock. What do you say?
Like, oh, you want to intimidate? You have to scare a passerby. Like,
that would be quite dynamic D&D.
Stealth check, hide and seek. You have
hide
to
from me.
Yeah, you have to hide and seek for 30 seconds.
Oh, Nate, you're so right. I do just want to smooch everyone in my D&D party. I wouldn't say no.
Okay, I think
are we
good.
done?
I think we're good.
Final one.
Okay, yeah.
Dan is the best DM. It's true. Move over that Melissa.
That is a hot take.
Move over Brennan and Mulligan.
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't have been
Mark
Mark Sherlock
Sherlock
Humes doing the BG3 playthrough.
I really shouldn't. I would have died if you'd done that. Good lord. Anyway, I think we're done here.
Yes.
You did so well.
Thank you. I didn't.
You only broke once or twice.
I didn't. My face didn't kind of implode in on itself. You are 100% right, Nate.
That definitely made Dan pucker a bit.
I puckered. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Julia, for making me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Well, thank you for having me and allowing me this wonderful opportunity.
So, once again, if you like, feel free to hit the like button and comment down below on any other spicy takes that you feel we didn't address that I should look at. And we might not talk about it, but you can be safe in the knowledge that I'll read it and go... once again, we also do lots and lots of stuff. So yeah, if you want some D&D actual plays, we're coming up to the end of our first Explorers of Elsewhere campaign, year 1. We're on Sunday. We are releasing no, that's a lie. We have released episode 17 of 20, so we are fully in the end game. We've got non-D&D stuff. So on Sunday, we've got Tales from the Loop, run by a mysterious guest games master called Carl.
You've never seen before.
No. And, Pivot, Gygax. I think, hot take,
but
all
bonus.
D&D adventures are pretty poo in first ed.
In first ed?
Yeah, because all they were dungeon
Oh, is that what Gary Gygax
And
posed?
Tomb of Horrors is not fun.
It can be. I mean, I laughed
Not because
a
of
few
Tomb of
times.
Horrors.
A few of those traps made me laugh.
Yes.
So savage. But yeah.
Yes. We've got D&D actual plays. We've got non-D&D actual plays. We've got more live streams like this. We've got a Baldur's Gate 3 co-op playthrough that myself and 3 others are playing. We've got loads of stuff like that. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of when we release new stuff, because it happens very, 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 very frequently.
Smooches, everyone.
Smooches for everyone.
Smooches
Yes,
for everyone.
my PC wants to romance you all. So, thank you once again for watching.
I only DM for the romance.
That's the only reason you got Baldur's Gate.
Basically. Oh, it is a Starian
Is it
dating
not a
simulator.
dating sim, you said?
It started as a Starian dating simulator. It is now Gale dating simulator. I'm just working my way around. It's amazing.
It is. Right. Take care, everyone. Have a good time.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.